here, the Digestif. How we doing? We are in August.
Yes.
Rapidly approaching September. And the first thing you will see is that we had a talk as a show of how to better angle our YouTube channel. Because the reality is, my situation was perfect. And then the lifeline, the backbone of our show, the technology genius, and the man that discovers new things every week on this show, the one, the only, Mr. Robbie to my left. How are you?
I'm good. Thinking about this AC. Might turn it off to
Turn the AC off.
Improve the crispness of the audio.
And to finish, the point of our adjustment is you are now in frame.
Hey, here we are.
You were not in frame the first 7-8 episodes. It took us way too long to realize that.
I was kind of like this, right? You got this little profile action going on.
You feel like I need here's the issue. You have too much respect for me. You feel like I need your undivided attention. When you turn and stare at me, you think if you stare at me, then I'm going to feel heard. But the reality is that ship has sailed 5, 6, 7 years ago that I will just talk on the side of a street to anyone that walks by. I'm a couple years away from being that random weird guy on West 4th Street where you're like, all right, well, that's where white privilege goes wrong, isn't it? He's just yelling at the sky. Yelling at the goddamn sky. If I don't get my shit together or keep it together, that could be what happens to me. But we had it's been a few weeks since we recorded, so I think there's a lot of like you say, jizz going on.
Oh, been a nice beachy summer. That's
beachy
right.
Summer. I got away a couple weeks ago.
Hell yeah.
Beach weekend. Saw
awesome.
the parents.
Nice.
Saw the sister, who now lives in the most godforsaken state in this country. She lives in Florida. Specifically Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. Is there any place that has more of a lack of identity than Fort Lauderdale, Florida, right?
Cruises.
She's killing it. She's doing great. And her and her boyfriend, they're both doing great. They were both in the city pre-COVID. The companies they were with, they moved down there. And now my parents are down there, and they are trying to bait me and my wife to come down and visit them more outside of Jacksonville. Yeah. They like it. I think it's a godforsaken waste of time. I think the entire state is going to be the first to go under because of climate change. And I also think that it's a people that if we lose that people, what's going to happen to the country? Is there going to be any negative ramifications, or are we going to could we grow by losing Florida? What are your thoughts on Florida?
Florida, I mean, just as a starting point for vacations, I've had some great times in Florida. One time with my older brother, we drove down from New Jersey to Fort Lauderdale to go on this cruise called Holy Ship, which was an electronic music cruise.
Okay.
Which was phenomenal. So we drove all the way down. Maybe we stopped in Savannah a little bit and ended up in Fort Lauderdale, just parked in a random parking deck in Florida.
Yeah. Savannah's nice.
Yeah, Savannah's
nice town. How old were you when you did this?
I think I was 20, 21.
Okay.
21.
Yeah.
So it was good because I recently was able to drink, and then we're on a cruise, able to buy drinks, and all the we're seeing all the DJs at dinner. Everyone's there, Skrillex, Diplo, all the fancy people.
Perfect thing for the age range you were in. Florida's a starter pack. It's an entry level vacation, right? It's a place that you go when you don't know where to go yet, right? And especially in your life, you've been a smart guy for a very long time. But we're talking about the time frame where you recently left a NASA space project that helps us understand how to bring fecal matter to the moon or something. Whatever you were working on, I know it's something equally as important as that, right? You recently left NASA, and then your next decision was to go to Florida with your brother to what sounds like a fun thing, right? But as we grow and mature, is it still? Is it the place that we want to? And that's okay if it's not. But my point is that if it's not, right, once we get past, let's say, our late 20s, early 30s, if it's not a destination anymore, unless you have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, right? Outside of that, I get the Disneyland, right, or Disney World. I get it. Outside of that, what is left? What is its value to the country, right? Where are we now going on vacation? We want to go to places with a culture. Places with an identity, things that we can experience, right? Food and beverage can be a big part of that. That's for me, right? For a lot of people, they like that. Other people like, sightseeing. That's a big vacation thing, right? Where do we sightsee in Florida? What do we see? We see Epcot. Is that the big sight? We see a gator on 95 South ready to rip your fucking face off. I driving
on A1A.
Me and Gina might go to the Keys in early January because I feel like that is the one part of the state that I do want to see. I want to just, and I told her, this is the last place I want to go. But if we do want to go somewhere in January on a low budget, Florida's makes its little slithering way into the running of places to go. But I'm like, okay, let's go to the Keys, right? Let's drive down on that highway where it's only water around us. That's kind of cool. And I want to drive on that highway and only see water. And I want to, once it concludes, I want to get right back on a plane, come right back home.
Exactly.
Because I don't know what else to do there, right? That's just the glorified Cancun at that point, right? It's in the middle of a bunch of very clear-looking water, and, you know, it's a place where older boomers go and they just take a load off. They retire hard. And you know once they retire hard, about 4 to 5 years, they're dropping dead. So it's probably a place that has a high death rate, too.
I had one friend that used to live there, and she was like the only one that had no DUI because they were all just like very intense. Like once you walk into a bar, it's just like shots
They're
for
just
everyone.
boozing and driving.
Exactly.
It's one road, right? Is the Keys one road, or are there little like village? I almost want to say it's like a little boomer village every like 10 miles, right? Little fishing village, right? But they're not really. Yeah, I mean, are they fishing or are they just boozing on a boat, going out on a boat? You know, throwing back a couple, Bud Ices.
Bud Ice.
It's a retirement community for a lot of people that also have already failed in the South. You know, I mean, people that also failed in the North, right? But it's a last resort type of place. So we're gonna go there in January. But I outside of that, I guess Tampa Bay is kind of cool, right? Tampa Bay seems cool. I was there when I was younger. I could see that being a place I'd want to hang out.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, man, Florida is a place I'll like to visit very scarcely. Did get some beach time though. Got some beach time. Nice. Hung out with the pops. My dad is from the Jersey Shore.
Oh, nice.
So when you're from that area, he grew up a surfer. Surfing was a big part of his identity, right? And it's interesting now because his knees aren't what they were, his back isn't what it was. So now he got really, really into paddleboarding, which is like the easier way of surfing and being able to feel the sensation of standing up on a board. It's the retirement version that surfers, I think, graduate to. And I surf for all of like 9 minutes, so I've also graduated to it, and it's been a lot of fun. It's way better if you're a tall, lanky, uncoordinated person. But we did some hard paddleboarding, man. I think you would enjoy paddleboarding as a thinner man. You'd have a very easy center of gravity. You'd be able to get right out there in the ocean. I think have you ever gone?
I want to. I almost did the other week with Nick actually, but when I was there on the bay, I saw like this lady out there like with like a dog on the paddleboard with her. That was kind of fun.
That is like a dream, right? You got to have the right dog for that. You have to have a lot of things have to go right for you to have this dog that sits on the paddleboard. Like my dog has crippling anxiety, so him on the paddleboard, he wouldn't know what to do. But I would love to be that guy with like the little baby basset hound sitting on the front of the paddleboard.
That was awesome.
But that's an identity. I think we have too much going on to achieve that type of balance, to achieve the perfect dog and the perfect life with the dog so that we can just enjoy the paddleboard with the dog. Like you can't rush that. That's something where you got to go to the beach consistently and kind of work on that relationship with this dog that isn't cripplingly depressed.
Exactly.
But it is interesting. It's like sports evolve, right? Athletes evolve. I was a college basketball player at a very middle of the road level that I wasn't that good at that level, but basketball was my life for 22 years. So what is my paddleboarding going to be? I think it's going to be like a JCC summer league. Jewish community centers love summer leagues. Jewish people love basketball. They love the idea of maybe being good at basketball. That's what they love. And it's I definitely, that's going to be my paddleboarding, is that aging men's league, wearing 2 knee braces. I can move just enough to hit the random wide open 15-foot jumper.
Exactly.
I'll play good defense. I'll get in your shit. I'll slap you around a little bit, but that's going to be my paddleboarding. What is your paddleboarding going to be, you think, when you're like 50, 60 years old?
Recently I've been getting a little bit into longboarding, and also been getting into
like the skateboard.
The skateboard?
That looks fun.
Yeah, and like also drone videography.
That is your paddleboard.
And I saw today on Instagram, I posted it on my story, but now they have this device where you can kind of float and hover around like the Green Goblin, and kind of like. So I figure myself doing that with a camera as well. So I'll be like flying through the air, like because it looks like low energy. It's not like I have to like really work hard, but like I'll be flying through the air with footage, with like a video camera rolling.
Hey Dad, what was your sport? What are you doing now? I was a surfer, now I paddleboard. What about you, Sam? I played basketball and now I go in Jewish Community Center Men's League. Robbie, what do you do? I helped remove poop from the moon with NASA, and now I do drone videography. That didn't make any more sense. Doesn't check out any more than that. I love these. Yeah, that is your paddleboarding.
Yeah,
your paddleboarding is still meddling with other countries' elections secretly. It still could be that. Oh my God, it's crazy. My mother is it was interesting catching up with her. She is on TikTok more than you would have ever thought. Mm-hmm. And you realize that actually Gina made a really good point about this, is that TikTok has skipped millennials. It was created for Gen Zs, and it went right over our head as the just useless in-between generation. That's what we learned we were. We were the generation that was raised by boomers, but we wanted to be Gen Z, but we don't have the talent to be Gen Z, and we have the privilege to be boomers, right? So we're the in-between generation. So we have just no opportunity to really have any merit or make anything of ourselves. So TikTok went from the Gen Zers, went over our heads, and landed right in the boomers. Because
really?
I think a big part of it, and I could be completely wrong, but
I do see. Yeah,
my reasoning is what they enjoy now. What do our parents enjoy as they get older? We talk about all the pros and cons of the woke culture. Has it ruined entertainment? Has it made it better? Probably somewhere in between. A lot of people are more offended now, right? And it's like we are a current society. I mean, obviously, there's plenty of people that are over that and want to move on, but we are for people that enjoy that, for people that still enjoy like local TV, right? Like cable TV. We are in a generation of silly. We don't want something that is like, oh wow, that's too real, that's too spot on, or like something that somebody created and took time into. You could see the art that was involved in making this thing that is either musically awesome or funny or unique or aesthetically pleasing to look at. No, we just want silly. We just want look at grandma, look at her do the hokey pokey. Mm-hmm. We have grandma on TikTok doing the hokey pokey, and that is things that like they're watching now, and it's like it's safe. It doesn't. You don't have to think a whole lot to enjoy the content, and you don't have to have any background in creating the content to create the content. So that is really like, I think the pro is that if you like silly, if you like goofy, it's safe, right? Mm-hmm. TikTok is right in your wheelhouse because and then my mother claims it's great, because it's very informative. There's people on TikTok giving informative videos too, and that's
true.
Fair. But then she used an example, like there's this one woman she follows who like gives you advice on how to take care of plants. So she does videos. She has like 287 plants, and she gives videos on how to properly water different plants. I'm like, has anyone diagnosed her medically? That's a person that needs help. That person's crying out. And TikTok has allowed her to take all of her issues with not having a lover and not having any future, but having plants and making it silly and goofy and informative. And now on TikTok, it's like she's cherished as like an award-winning scholar. And, is that bad? Is that good? I don't know. I don't know. I think there's some good to it.
And that's the combo you mentioned too. Informative, yes, but also silly and goofy. And I find myself too, like, unless I'm really in a focused state where I really want to learn, like even with my learning, I look for things that still have some of that playful aspect to it. Like there's people that'll be even teaching like tech things that'll be like very satirical or like humorous, like as they're doing it. That's becoming much more of a thing within TikTok and even just on YouTube and things like that, just to like combine entertainment and education.
Well, and the reality too is like for comedians and musicians and stuff, there's still an immense opportunity on TikTok to take your current art and make it TikTok-y, whatever that means, right? I'm not doing it well enough. I'm not doing enough of it at all, right? I technically have a page. I'm hardly on it. So yeah, there's a whole side to that, but it was fascinating. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's one DJ I follow, and he poses ridiculous things where he'll just be like, beats I can never release, part 12, and he'll just post like some like really goofy like childhood millennials will get this reference in like Mario song, and then he like puts like some raging like club hit, mixes it up with it and stuff like that.
That's interesting because it's like that would be like it doesn't cut and paste the same way with a comedian with like jokes that can never release. Just imagine a page of a comedian that you might have respected, and it's like, okay, this is the third rape joke I've ever wrote, so here it is. This is the jokes I'll never release. This next joke is about kidney cancer. You ready for and it doesn't the same. And he has arrived.
My man.
Oh, it's leaking.
If you've noticed, which one is mine? Right here. Thank you so much. If you've noticed, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't say. I only said to my right, not to my left, until this very moment. The one, the only, that saxophone guy, Mr. Lucas Perez, has joined us.
You guys leaking?
All of our coffees are leaking.
What the hell?
Nothing was because these types of tasks for you are not always thought out because you are a very brilliant mind and your mind needs to focus on other things. It can't be to secure the lids of 3 iced coffees. That's too much. It's too much too early. How are you doing? Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you do follow the show from more than an audio side, if you follow the video, you've seen a progression in not so much me and Robbie's wardrobe. We've kind of stayed pretty linear in the pocket is what I like to say. I say that term too much, but in the pocket. You've been everything but in the pocket. You've been out of the pocket exploring other pockets every single weekend because you are in a very important part of your life. You're in a stage of self-growth. And
Transitioning.
Yeah. Trying to figure out who is Lucas Perez going to be.
Is that the Albert Camus lion phase?
Yeah.
Yes.
Give us some feedback on this phase you're going through.
This is fuck. I need coffee, and it's too early. And I woke up to Olivia Rodrigo this morning.
You're welcome.
And thanks to Robbie.
Yeah, thank you for this,
He
by the way.
blasted. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I've
Thank you.
spilled half of it so far, but it's okay.
Robbie's played Olivia Rodrigo outside my door off a Bluetooth speaker to wake me up.
Listen, it wasn't the first thing I tried.
Good, what was it? Good
You
for
are
you?
you are a heavy sleeper now that you are a full-time musician, which does check out. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
does he sleep too much before certain gigs that you have together? You have to hold him accountable because he is a representation of you. If he does not make the gig, you guys are a duo a lot of times, right? Is that what you find happening?
More often he will. Sometimes I'll wake up and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I went to the gym. I did this." So like, yeah, it's a mix.
I
It's
had
a
a
mix.
late night. Yeah, I think you're leaking,
I don't
man.
understand.
I think.
I'm making a mess all over your floor, which I will clean up. Say that to the viewers. I will go. Let me try this.
Yeah, I'll get you a cup.
Do you need employees? My cousin needs a job.
Does he?
Yeah.
Does your cousin? All right.
He's worked a couple of little restaurants. He worked at Panera. He worked at
He's worked at Panera.
Yeah.
So he has a basic understanding of prepping bread, putting bread into an oven, and utilizing bread to make a culinary delight.
That's a stretch. I don't think they don't do that at Panera.
I would say that's entry level for Panera. It's a place that bakes bread. It's a place that uses bread in the food.
Panini soups.
Yeah. Is he looking for a job?
He is looking for a job. Yeah,
I'm looking for entry level kitchen help. What does that mean? That means cutting cheese. That means cutting bread. It means doing dishes. It means having a positive personality. And it means laughing at all of me and Marlon's jokes. So if he can do those things, then we're okay.
And it's not on your looking for, but he will also recite some poems.
Oh, he has some dank poems, man.
Okay. That will be good for the kitchen culture. So do you have any faith that he can do the first 3 tasks that I outlined?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? He's looking for a job. How old is he?
29. He just turned 29.
Okay. Does he get offended easily?
No.
Because here's the thing, and it's completely my fault, but my staff kind of inherits certain things that I do, and at this point, everybody like everybody curses too much now. Everybody like says jokes that go too far, and it's 100% I can't even reprimand them because I've done it. Now it's like it's like cut and paste, and it's like it's a healthy work environment because I have 11 people that do not get offended. That's what's happening.
I know how to offend him, but I don't like to.
So he'll be okay.
Yeah, he's very easygoing. He's go with the flow kind of guy.
Okay, that's good.
He's not a disruptor. He's not a
Yeah.
aggressive type either.
Well, shoot me that resume because that sounds interesting. Let's get back to you and your evolution.
My evolution?
Yeah, it's very important. So you now
Got
are
moccasins on.
moccasins. You're a man with braids. You're a man with conflicting camo patterns, and you have a fantastic hat.
It's what's it called? A do-rag? Is this a do-rag?
I don't think that's a do-rag. No, I don't think that is.
What is this?
I think that's a do-schmuck.
Do-schmuck?
Yes, and that gets back to something I want to talk about with Robbie and his lovely girlfriend. They're evolving, and a big reason they are is because she has every right to have the handle she has, something like Outfits of Adventure.
Outfit Adventure.
Outfit Adventure. It is an adventure because every time she gets dolled up, it's like a high-end schmuck. We talked about that, right? What was a schmuck in the 90s? It was that big piece of fabric you wear over your clothes because you're about to finger paint for 4 hours, and you're gonna get paint all over your face and your clothes and on your dreams. So you wear a schmuck, and it catches all of that. She has like a high-end Zara design schmuck that she wears, and I'm gonna be honest, It works for her. It really works for her. But you guys were, I don't want to say on the fritz, but there was some communication you guys were working on. How are things going with that?
Going well. Getting back in good cahoots. But I got in trouble with one of the podcast eps. But
Trouble.
things are
We
aligned.
got trouble with one of the podcast episodes, and you guys came by the bar one night. I wish you wanted me to be there so the three of us could sit down and explain all of the great things that she does for you. I didn't have a chance to do that. I'm looking forward to doing that. What was the real straw that broke? It was the idea that your ex was on the pod without realizing it.
Yeah, I guess just the fact that I answered. I guess I kind of got bit in the ass from how delayed the pod is, because like that episode was from a few weeks ago,
You guys
and
weren't.
then since then we had talked like, oh yeah, I don't want you to talk to your ex at all. I was like, oh okay, whatever, but then weeks later the episode released where we answered the phone call and we're talking to her and she's like, oh my god, why are you talking to?
Yeah.
I'll kill you.
Well, first of all, I will give her my 2 cents on that when I see her. I think she's an awesome girl, but I do not think it's ever healthy in a relationship to start off a rule of no communication with an ex who clearly needed help that night. Was clearly stranded in her car with a bunch of fast food that she was, hired to deliver. She will not be delivering that food, and she doesn't know if she was going to get home okay. We, by all means, did what we needed to do, which was A, not help her, and B, use it to make the show better, and C, keep it moving. That's what we did. And I don't regret doing that because Somerville is a safe town. But, and I think she appreciated being on the pod. But I think, that is where there needs to be enough trust where you can have casual conversations with a person that, it seems like you both have moved on.
Exactly.
And you guys are both in similar art forms. She is jumping around from different art forms. She is what we call, the great word is free spirit.
Yes.
So as a free spirit, I don't see the problem with that.
Yeah. Same town too, tiny town. It's like hard to,
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, play at the place.
Now I understand where she's coming from. I just don't think her answer to the problem is the right answer. I think there's better answers.
Oh, yeah, and Lucas even had a little talk with her sister about it. 'Cause they were talking about like why we were fighting and everything.
Yeah.
We started fighting. Me and Adriana started fighting about our opinions about their argument.
Sure.
And then me and Adriana, oh man,
you guys-
it got bad. And then I had to apologize on Sunday.
Well, what he said, you won't say. I'll say it. You say
I'll say it.
A
I'll say
legit
it.
fight.
Yeah. 'Cause we're outside Village. We're like 5 gin and tonics in,
Okay.
and we're talking about our peoples and how much we love them and our opinion of what happened. And at one point she's just going, men do this, men are that, men are this, men are that. And I was like, you're just damaged. Some guy damaged. Some guy hurt. Who hurt you? And then she didn't take that the right way.
So for reference, she wants to open a all-female hair salon coffee shop that allows where men are in cages
Dominatrix.
and the entire staff is Antifa members. Was that
Pretty much
what it was?
Yeah, pizzeria, coffee shop, baby.
And I think that place is going to be a hit. Don't get me wrong. That place is gonna hit home. But if that is the business model, you don't fit into that business model well unless you're in the cage. dressed as you are now. So
Fair enough.
So it's I think there's miscommunication all around. I think the one thing difficult that me and my wife had to work on early on in the industry is that she is, what's great about her is she loves traveling with me to do really stupid gigs, like gigs that nobody should get excited to come with me to. That's how I know that she really cares about me, right? But you're going to be networking with other people that maybe we can casually joke around about, hey, in another life, like you two would fuck each other's brains out probably, like you could see the way other people stare at you, you stare at them, this and that, but you have to be able to just understand that all most artists and entertainers are all crazy out of their mind. We all wear our emotions on our sleeve, so it's very easy to read how someone looks and feels when you're in that ecosystem every day.
He's also wondering a little question because she got a little upset at me the other day, just jokingly, when I tried to say "Oh, you're not that foreign, you're not," and then she was like, "Oh no, I would like to be considered an exotic girl. It's good for the brand." Like Sam would say, it's good for the brand. So what is an exotic girl? Is she one? What is an exotic girl to you guys?
I think the first part is someone that would comfortably and stylishly wear schmucks. I think that could be a very entry level of an exotic person. So she checks that box off. She's doing well with that. I think the way her comfortability in where conversations with all of us tend to go and being able to talk on ridiculous topics, that can make somebody also exotic. I mean, right now, anything Eastern European or white is not that exotic, right? So on the surface, are me and you exotic? We are not exotic, but our personalities, I think, are pretty exotic.
Am I exotic?
You are, by default, you're actually less exotic as you go inside. But from the outside right now, you are incredibly exotic. So this is like opposite day, right? You actually are very, cool, calm, and collective. But there's nothing cool, calm, and collective about what's going on here. So it's, there's different parts of being exotic, right? And I think exotic, when you talk about me and you, is incredibly the wrong word. We are I think we're interesting people. We're unique. We have unique thoughts and interests. Mm-hmm. But we are two thin, straight white guys. It is what it is, right? She is a thin, straight, white European woman, right? Not that exotic on the outside. So where are we categorizing exotic? Is it all about race and ethnicity, or is it about the person? Those are two completely disparate things. And I think there's nothing more exotic than wanting to open up an Antifa coffee, bakery, barbershop that keeps men in cages and the women don't wear any clothes. I think that is incredibly an exotic idea. So all the power to her and her sister. I think we're in a good place with that.
That's amazing.
Everyone has their trigger too, right? I mean, I think this is one thing. Me and my wife just got over a fight this morning. We were in a fight for the last 3 days. Last 3 days we were in a fight. We were in a fight because she is a little more concerning of certain things with her health. I think she wants to be very, overly concerned and safe because neither one of us have had a physical in like 5 or 6 years. And she's been feeling some, I think, tummy aches and stuff like that. And she just wants to get checked out, make sure she's good. But she's also kind of a stern person where she doesn't show off things she's concerned about, right? So she's said to me multiple times, like on random occasions, she's like, I have kind of a tummy ache tonight. And I'm like, great, no worries, this and that. I still, we're both very sexual people. So when I don't see her for a couple days, I come home and I love my wife in definitely a more of a risque sexual way. I'm kissing her and saying, I love you, I miss you. And then I'm kissing her, like her body and stuff. And I'm just kind of kissing her arm, kissing her, like this, we're on the couch and we're just kind of booing up, doing a little boo loving thing, right? And I think that the miscommunication came where she felt like, okay, she said I have a stomach ache, by the way. I'm like, and I went, you kind of, you have stomach aches a lot. And she's like, and that, she did not like that. That was not good because she wanted me to be like, okay, well, we need to look into this, right? Which I agree needs to happen. But she has been apparently very concerned about this for her health. So the bottom line is we're both going to the doctor in the next couple of weeks just to get a physical, get a checkup, make sure all is good, right? But she says some things to me too recently where like if we have certain arguments where if I don't agree with her on everything politically or socially or everything like that, right away I feel a very cancel vibe from her sometimes. And I took this
Cancel vibe?
Yeah, like the idea of like, our society being very like on either side of like, if you don't agree with me, I'm canceling you. I'm canceling you in my head. You are canceled, right? So, we got into a back and forth about that. And at the end of the day, it's a healthy argument because by this morning, we both talked out the things that bothered us about how the other person betrays information. What I think is, and I don't want this to be a whole fucking therapy episode because that's not interesting. What's more interesting is what is the actual problem here? And I think the main problem is always way more simplistic. And it's as simple as we are both still relatively attractive people, right? And if your relationship, there's no relationship where two attractive people, they can be as in sync with hobbies, interests, ideas, values, and goals, all they want, right? But if two hot people are married, the baseline for that relationship is they're fucking hot. And they enjoy, they're both probably kind of kinky. They both enjoy having sex, and they both enjoy kinking out with each other. And that is a big part of our relationship, right? So it's like the reality is this is a hot person fight. A hot person fight is every time you love me, I feel like it's just sexual. And it's like, well, the reason you probably feel that way is because in one drop of the dime, I could be eating your butthole, right? But the reality is I'm not in this moment, but because we're two hot people, I don't know if two sweaty, grizzly-looking people from Madison, Wisconsin, if they haven't seen each other in 3 days, would they come home and start putting their sweaty fat on each other immediately and start eating each other's orifices? Maybe they do, and I'm sure there's plenty of couples that do that. I think if we were going to run the stats, if we were going to make an Excel spreadsheet of the amount of woolly mammoth married couples that just hop on each other's junk at every drop of the dime compared to temporary, averagely hot to very hot married couples, how much they jump on each other's nuts, I think the numbers would be a little different. That's all I'm saying. And there's a couple kinked out woolly mammoths out there, and God fucking bless them. Keep rubbing your fat together and making love, baby. Let's do it, But I think it's as simple as that sometimes, right? When you're two people that enjoy sex, still kind of somewhat put together, it is what it is. We like to have sex a lot. So when she wanted me to be concerned about her health, and she thought I was still all in sex mode, I was in love mode. I haven't seen my wife in 48 hours. That was where I think the misconception happened.
I'm not going to try to recite it or anything, but I think Louis had a bit about people that don't want to get fucked or like that shouldn't get fucked. I'm not going to try to recite it, but Louis has a bit like the opposite of that, where there's like none of that attraction back and forth.
I do kind of remember the bit. I'm going to botch it too, so I don't want to recite it. But it's 100%. It's a thing, right? I mean, I think some of the horniest people out there are just fat fucking people. I mean, look at more and more, the whole curvy movement is awesome. There's like a bunch of beautiful ass women out there with big hips, fat asses, and big tits in the 90s would look like, society would tell them they're not attractive. I would take that build of woman any day over the 0% body fat. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm on board with that. So, but I think just the idea of hot, either being curvy, voluptuous, attractive, either species at any level of weight, right, compared to just being fat. There's a difference between curvy and fat. There's a difference between big hips, fat ass, nice waist, and just beer gut, right? There's a difference. There's a difference between dad bod and just overhanging flap of fat going down your jeans, right? So I'm sure the numbers check out with who's more ready to have sex all the time, right? And I think, it gets back to, have you guys seen that show on Netflix, Too Hot to Handle? Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
They just take 8 absurdly hot people, they put them on a beach. None of these people are ready to have any kind of commitment or relationship. And after the first night, the host of the show cuts them off sexually. The point of the show is they have $100,000. Every time one of them makes out or does anything, they deplete from that bank account. And the money left over is how much they all take home. And the whole thing is like, it's the idea, it's the same thing of like, let's push the right opinions on people, whether they're ready for it or not, right? These 8 people do not have any idea who they are. All they know is that they're hot and they like sex. Their occupations are all models and entrepreneurs. So their occupations are all I'm hot or I'm unemployed, right? That's their two occupations. And they just want to fuck. And it's great TV. It's fantastic to watch 8 people that just want to fuck try to pretend they want to have a committed relationship. But, that's where I think a lot of this stems from. We watch that and we think that, oh my God, is there enough commitment in our marriage? Yes, there is. There is. None of us want to do shit. We just want to kink out with each other and fucking be happily miserable together the rest of our life.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes sense to want to foster the relationship emotionally, sexually, financially. There's a lot of things you can do to give them. Like I like the concept of like relationship bank accounts, which is not just money, but just like different things you do for each other that adds to this overall. When shit goes wrong, like all these times I've helped you with that. All these times we've kind of helped. So it's definitely something you want to keep track of.
You like that idea?
It's like similar to karma, I guess, but it's just like a number of things like you kind of do for each other. So like
keeping tabs on the amount of things each person does.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's like it's like the opposite of what's that thing? Grudge. Like the opposite of grudge. Like instead of holding on to like something you did wrong, it's like also holding on to like the positive things.
Got you. Okay, that makes way more sense. I thought you were going in a direction of keeping tabs on all the shit I brought to the relationship. So when you fuck up, I got a laundry list.
Opposite of that.
Of course, the man who's throwing women out of cars agrees. But like I'm just saying, no. So that does make sense. You keep a list of the things, the positively the other person does in your brain for when something goes awry. You remember all the stuff that she has brought to the relationship, and you think about it more wholesomely.
Yeah, because so often, even in like the way like the human mind works, like it's just like even just with customer service, like you remember bad experiences much more than good experiences. So it's helpful, I think, in a relationship to continue to remind yourself of the good. So that when one bad thing goes on, you're just like kick her out of a car, you know?
Yeah.
You just like
Throw her. I didn't kick her.
I agree.
Tossed her.
This is
Picked her up and I placed her down aggressively.
I will be letting back in your older brother to my place of establishment this weekend.
My older brother, Jerry?
Your mentor,
My liege.
How do you feel about that? Are you excited to spend more time with your long-lost friend?
Little, I don't know. He's cool sometimes. There's a lot of times not.
The gentleman that I removed from my place of establishment, I went to the other place of establishment that he is not removed from last night to have a drink with my assistant general manager, and 3 people at the bar asked us who was the one responsible for kicking out this person. And I kind of half raised my hand and gave the whole I was like, yeah, that was me. Like, not sure what the response was going to be from them. I was curious. I didn't know why they were asking me, right? And the entire bar clapped, including the bartenders, and they all gave me a high five. And after they did, I said, well, I'm letting them back in next Friday. And they all were like, oh, they're like, this fucking guy's been kicked out of here 4 different times. So now I may be questioning me trying to take the high road. Some people, and I think it's a bigger point too. It's like it gets back to our marital debate and like just certain things. Everything we've been talking about this episode. Not everything deserves the high road. Right. Some people and things don't deserve a high road, and
title.
It could still make you feel like a better person if you do give everyone and everything the high road. But you need to be readily be available to get bit in the ass. Mm-hmm. And it's like the Lewis Black line from Accepted. My ass looks like hamburger meat, but I can still sit down. Right? If you just keep chugging along and trying to pick your battles, right, you will get bit in the ass, but you can still sit the fuck down, right? So that's going to be this gentleman with me. He's probably going to come back in. He's going to bite me in the ass again. It's going to look a little more hamburgery. And I'm going to probably kick him out for good, and then I'll be able to still sit down, right? We will see what happens with that.
Yeah, keep an eye. Keep an eye out.
Definitely keep an eye on him.
Interesting story you guys encountered that you wanted to speak on, right? There was a incident where you were at a party that was not prepared to be a party, and you contributed to the party. Let's talk about this.
Exactly. Yeah. So we showed up. We looking to go to like an event because we actually didn't have a concert this one night, and we're like, oh shit, let's see what's going on. And it's funny the way I get my what's going on in the world. I just went to my Instagram stories and saw that a buddy was playing at a house party down the shore, and I was like, oh snap, let's check it out. And Lucas looking very fresh. He was wearing like a suit and a hat and
double-breasted linen tan thing.
Yeah, no, I miss those days.
So
only a night.
yeah, we happened to the party.
No, it's healthy.
They had like a
Are
nice
these zipper pockets?
There's zipper pockets there.
So you're at the party, right?
At that party, they got like 4 bands, like the opening bands going. They're like playing like some like soft indie rock music, and you know, we have like a higher standard. Even just coming from playing with Nick Ryan.
you cut that last one off. I know we have a higher standard, but anyway, fuck them. Continue.
No, from like not from like my play, but like from like Nick Ryan. Like he's such a performer. Like he's just so like yeah, like in between like hyping up the crowd and everything.
Sure.
But it was so funny. We see this like hipster Brooklyn-y band going like in between songs. Like, thank you. And they finished their last song. They did their last song, and they just go into the mic. We're done. And I'm just like, okay, it's like, different vibe.
Yep, like too cool for school. Too broke for school, but they want you to think too cool for school. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so we didn't want to like we walked in, people were nice, but no one like offered us a drink or anything. Some people are walking around with like Coors Light or whatever, and Luke and I don't really drink beer, so we're just like, all right, let's make a situation of this. So we hop on the Goog, we give it a Goog, we find a liquor store like a 20-minute walk away, and we're just like fuck it. So we just walk.
You hop on Google.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, my millennial brain.
Give it a
Hop on
Goog.
Goog. You've realized you're at a party that has employed you and another band to perform, right?
Oh no, we're just crashing it.
Oh, you're just crashing it.
Yeah, he brought his sax. Yeah,
No
yeah.
one's employed.
No one's employed by
It's
it.
just like a little jam.
Clearly, because nobody invested in any booze at the party. So this was a gigantic like BYOB. This is my house. You bring your own shit if you want to drink here.
And we have drums.
So then you go and you said you kind of went, you went more of the aggressive route. You got some G&Ts going. Is that what happened?
Exactly. Yeah, so we got loaded up. We got like bottles of gin, bottles of vodka, mixers, club soda, orange juice, cranberry juice, ice, solo cups.
So you brought the booze for the party.
Yes.
And did everybody else start using your booze?
So then we hop in for a song. We're like gauging the moment. Like, what are they doing? Because the last band goes on, and that's the one our buddy's in, and they're rocking. They're fucking great. They're both wearing white pants. Everyone in the band wearing white, and like they're all rocking out. And like Lucas finding a moment, like this song, you gotta hop in on this song. So he hops in this song. He like crushes it, and then he gets a big applause. He's rocking out with like his fucking suit and hat, looking like a motherfucker. And then
looking like it was premeditated. But the absurd thing about Lucas is it was random. It was not premeditated, right? Mm-hmm. So they're loving you guys, and then what happens?
And then I told him like, oh yeah, make the announcement. So I have Lucas go back to the mic and he makes an announcement. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, we got fucking booze for the whole party. Make drinks over here. Come on down. So then people start coming over. We start making drinks for everyone. Everyone's getting a little saucy.
Mid crash.
That's a 1920 style black and white picture of the party from a couple days ago. Okay, gotcha. So everyone's crashing, taking your booze.
And then we decide to play/make an after party situation. So we grab the Bluetooth speaker and we're just like playing in the backyard. I bring my electric guitar. He's on saxophone. We're jamming out to like French house music that we rock out with Charlie.
In the backyard.
Yeah, and everyone's like dancing. We're playing, and there's like a swing over there. People are pushing me in the guitar on the swing, like while I'm playing.
Every time you guys go out together, it becomes a tall tale. This is a Paul Bunyan type of situation, right? Because if Paul Bunyan was in 2021, he wouldn't be taking his axe and building gigantic houses. He would be buying Dogecoin and doing Quaaludes on a swing. That's what he would be doing. That's the only difference, right? So now you're in this like tall tale type of situation. So what were there formidable suitors that were like idolizing you guys for this, or were there people that wanted to be a part of what you were doing? Did you bring the party back to here? Or did you keep it there?
I was like half in the bag at that point. Like,
Yeah,
by the time we left the house party, I was pretty much gone.
The day you left TD, you've been half in the bag. So I mean, that makes perfect sense. But
we finished a bottle of gin, and then we decided to go to Asbury Park, and I don't remember any of that.
Yeah,
the story keeps building. I'm looking for the climax in the story.
Okay, here you got the videos loaded up. So he decides because we didn't open up all of the bottles of booze, and we don't want to have an open container in the car. So he's like, "Oh, we got to finish the bottle of gin." I'm like, "Do we though? We could just leave it here." And he just starts chugging the bottle of gin before we leave the house party. So we go to the Asbury Hotel, this like nice like rooftop bar, and Lucas, I've never heard him play the saxophone so drunk. But he was just rocking out. So he remembers none of it. But like,
so we're gonna play a video of Lucas playing his saxophone in a full blackout. All right, let's play it. Yeah, it'd be fun.
And there's a DJ at the Asbury Hotel on the rooftop, and
you were competing with him.
Yeah, but
Hammered.
He called me up for a solo apparently.
All right, so right there. He's aware that you're intoxicated. He knows that this isn't your A game. This is what we're getting at 3 in the morning in a rave party in Asbury Park. I know. See, here's the thing. It sounds fine to the viewers because a lot of people can't play as well as you. But I know that you are beyond hammered here. So that you just held like the C minor for an extra 4 seconds. No one questioned it. Everyone thinks it's fine.
Oh
I mean, dude, the funniest part about this is it was still really good.
This is me playing for who is this guy? Some dude.
So now you're just on the alto, shit-faced. Certain people aren't even looking at you. They think it's just a drunk reaction between you and this man. That guy wants to fuck you. That's a man that wants.
Got one of the D major 7.
This story had a lot of buildup, but I do think the climax is worth it. Let's play the video of think about all the things that happened this night that led to this. All
Robbie
opinion
saved me
shit.
that night. Robbie saved me and captured my embarrassing.
So now, what if you just woke up the next morning, you and that man in bed together, naked, just the alto sitting in there between you? That was it. That was it. Mouthpiece from the alto's been removed. There's a little bit of splooge in the front of it. You got to figure out what happened because that thing.
Oh, here's me and my cousin. Oh yeah, that's Lucas. That's blacked out Lucas right there.
Oh, for sure.
I'm just like,
for sure. And you literally have the Miami Vice suit with the matching white top hat.
oh yeah.
Well, this is why your lives are significantly more interesting than mine, and this is why we are here to refabricate what exactly happened.
wait, one more. The DJ was funny.
If you don't know what song he's playing, you're too young to be here. If you don't know what song he's playing, you're too young to be here.
And the whole crowd's going, I guess I am.
All right, Lucas. I need you to rock with me on this, all right? I need this to be a nice sax mix right now. Here we go.
So you guys are not in sync.
I don't know what the fuck I was playing.
That last one you played, it sounded like a cat purring as it was like kind of dying. A cat who was like having heart palpitations.
It was bad, man.
But the beauty of this is like
Apparently, I was playing a lot of shit.
in an all-out blackout, you're still better than probably 90% of the saxophonists trying to currently get work. Is that the point of these videos? 'Cause that's what I'm taking from it. This is
it was bad, man. It was
yeah.
bad.
Well, it's kind of like the whole idea, like if you're used to do those like comedy shows in like some East Village basement at like 2 a.m, right? The crowd doesn't even know where they are. You're just up there, hacking some sort of bit that you might have wrote or might not have, and if you took a video of it and watched it the next day, it would be a horrible representation of art. But everyone in there is just giggling because they're there, and it's like, if you're in that moment on drugs, you would think that the show was going fantastic. So that's the beauty of what that is. But
Mean hangover the next day. That whole next day was fucked, dude.
so when you go out and you're not booked, you bring your saxophone with you.
Oh yeah.
So you're at a bar and everyone's like, "What is that?" You're like, "That's my saxophone."
He's like, play it. And
they're
I'm
like-
like, there's a cute girl right there. I'll fucking play. Shit. It's my
Yeah.
only shot.
You are the when you go out, you're the guy at the party with the guitar. That's just there to play it on the log and sing to a couple women that went through really troubling breakups.
Yep, exactly.
Right? It's a good look.
Oh yeah, like the next week we walked into like a bar down the shore, and we're both looking fresh. We're about to play at a different like beach club like down the street, but we walk in, we get eyes right away because we're in suits. He's got like a sax case, and everyone looks over. They almost like laugh. They're like, "Oh shit, who the fuck is this?" Crew was walking in.
I was in pink too.
He was in pink. People walking over to him like, "Yo, you hopping on stage?" Because there's a band there. It's like, "Oh, you hopping on stage? Hopping on stage?" We're like, "Oh yeah, I don't know, maybe." But then we ended up like crashing, hopping on stage. I had my guitar, he had his thing, and I jumped off the stage and ran around my wireless unit, like injured my foot a little bit. And I'm like, "Fuck it, injure yourself for rock and roll." And I'm like running around, and like the business owner like talked to us afterwards, like, "Yeah."
And now we have a gig next month.
Yeah, now we got a gig there.
Yeah.
It
We
is
stole that band's gig.
And you guys could easily do that in most gigs going on in this area that you're not booked on. But I think what's also more interesting, and we'll start to wrap the show up with this, but like the both of you go out. We talked about Robbie being out of cum in the last episode. We talked about how just fucked out he is, right? Because and it's because it's not because he gets more like women's interest than you. It's because you both attract a very different woman, right? Because you come off as you are the more high-end, proficient version and way cooler version of the guy with the guitar at the party. So to the woman who's a little bit broken, but she's very cute, she's just been with the wrong people, made the wrong decisions, and she's really looking for a guy that she can kind of reanalyze life with, right? And that she sees that person in you, right? That is somebody you are not having intercourse with for at least 6 months. That's someone that not tomorrow anything's going to happen. That's going to be a lot of coffee dates, a lot of feelings, couple 3-piece suits, going out to dinner, and letting her talk. Letting her spill out everything that she has been misconstrued about because she's dated monsters, right? Now, Robbie has a similar vibe, attractive to the opposite sex, but his whole thing is he knows something you don't. And you want to know what that is. And in order to find out, you're going to have to fuck it out of him. So you're going to have to take him home, fuck it out of him, and maybe he will let you know why there will be another variant of COVID in early 2022. Because he knows. It's that you don't know, and you want to know. So the only way you're going to find out is for you to infiltrate the music lab, infiltrate his technology, hack into his mainframe, like we talked about, which is his brain and that silent monitor right there. There's so much information that's in that thing that we all need to know about the future of mankind. And that is why a different type of woman that goes, I need to know. I need to fucking know. And they're riding and they're like, well, I need to fucking know. Will you tell me? And then Lucas is downstairs making the other girl who's cripplingly like broken espresso. You're both attractive, but you're attracting a different type of girl. Both beautiful. Two beautiful women. Both have their issues, right? But they have very different issues, right? And just same way we all have very different issues. So I think we've solved, I don't want to say we solved it, but that is, I think, why the dynamic is different for you two. Am I shooting blanks on that?
I think that's pretty spot on, actually.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very picky, too. I'm too picky, maybe.
Well,
picky.
It's easy to be picky when you just attract broken women. You know what I mean? It's like, it could be a woman that is ready for, you two are ready for each other 2 years from now, but you are getting her at her worst because the saxophone is like a snare horn that's like attracting, it's attracting like an animal to its prey.
Humanitarian NFT.
Down south,
Yeah.
I'm going to South Carolina next week, by the way. And I say that because they call my instrument the bitch whistle down south. I learned that.
Interesting.
So.
Well, and that might be a different dynamic for you now. That might be like getting back to what we talk about with Robbie, just an old, real Southern brawl that goes, look at that old man with his bitch whistle. I'll show him a night coming down here in Mississippi with your little bitch whistle. Did you know the kind of dick I've sat on back in the day? I fucked the congressman. And then she just kind of takes you and hogties you in the back of her car. Yeah, keep him back there with his little bitch whistle. We're gonna go to Zaxby's, get some chicken first, and then I'm gonna go have my way with little bitch whistle boy. That's what she'll call you the rest of the day. You lose that saxophone guy, you're now just bitch whistle boy. Come here, bitch whistle boy. You clip my toenails, bitch whistle boy. Come downstairs. And give me that little skinny alien guy too. Did he get away? Somebody track him at his little bitch ass down.
Like, Sam, can you do a Foghorn Leghorn impression? I feel like you could do a good one.
I need to watch more content on that, and I will.
What in the...
Little bitch whistle boy coming in here. Listen, boy, if you wanna make your way to this pussy, I'm gonna need some bacon and eggs. You gotta feed me, bitch whistle boy. You gotta feed me.
Feed me, bitch whistle boy.
I need to be fed. I've never missed a meal in 19 years. I'm not starting now because I own a bitch whistle boy.
It's gonna be interesting though, because I can't. Because I don't want to pay for a bag. They give you one free bag, and I'm taking Spirit. It has to be a small bag, so I'm just bringing my sax case.
I'll book your flight home, bitch whistle boy. You ain't driving Spirit. You have Butch is gonna drive you home in the Ford 350. You'll fit in the back, bitch whistle boy, and you're gonna remember this interaction. Because I'm coming up north next month, and I'm coming hard. And when I see you, bitch whistle boy, you ain't getting away. You ain't getting away from me again. We may be long distance, but we're going to be attached at the hip. Attached at the hip, bitch whistle boy. Take your little beanie off your head. Those aren't real dreadlocks. I know dreadlocks when I see them, bitch whistle boy.
Out of Alabama. All right.
My ex was in the Proud Boys. I know a pair of dreadlocks when I see them.
So I won't be able to bring any suits.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that.
So it's interesting. I'm going to be performing without a suit on. We'll see how that goes.
I'm going to put you in a onesie and then lube you up a little bit and put you on my stage. Dance for me, bitch whistle boy. Dance, monkey, dance. That is the... Yeah, maybe if that's what they call your instrument, maybe you should avoid Mississippi for the foreseeable future. Trying to think about, because there's just, at least until we get a president that we more all agree on as a country, right? I think we'll eventually get back there. I'm glass half full about that. I don't think every president now, either like one half of the country is going to despise, the other half is going to absolutely love. But I think we'll get there. And when we get there, then it's safe for you to travel with your alto, mainly the alto. Bring the tenor to the South. The South likes bigger things. They like, the idea of the nice tenor, that will give you more of a presence, But if you bring that alto, you will attract... I
will be the bitch playing.
You will attract a woman named Donna. My name is Donna Anderson, and I've been looking for a bitch whistle boy for plenty of years now. Guys, you can follow the show on Instagram. At @the_Digestif. We post a lot of fun reels, videos, highlights from the show. If you like the videos, please give an episode a try. And then again, if you're listening to this at this point, you have given an episode a try and you formed your conclusion. But we are here every single week. Episodes released anywhere from Tuesday to Thursday. It's not going to be consistent, but give us a chance. As always, I've been Sam Mushman. You can follow me on Instagram at Vino_comic, SamMushman.com. Robbie Sco, where can they find you, hear about you, learn about you?
Robbie Sco on Instagram and YouTube.
And
Fantastic.
I'm that saxophone guy on Instagram.
And where can you find your little bitch whistle boy? Give your handles, your name, and your whereabouts, bitch whistle boy.
I'm going to start a new page, bitch whistle boy.
I mean, the alliteration in bitch whistle boy is, I can't stop saying it.
Bitch whistle boy.
That saxophone guy.
That saxophone guy? Mm-hmm.
On all platforms.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all. Until next time.
Goodbye.